Good afternoon and welcome everyone. This is the first biannual webinar for our planned participants. My name is Spencer Buckland. I'm the President of Emergency Response Assistance Canada. We've heard your feedback about wanting more updates from ERAC, so we'll now offer this biannual ERAC update and webinar for our planned participants. With me today from ERAC is our Manager of Safety and Quality Improvement, Ken McMullen, our Operations Manager for LPG, Don Merriam, our Operations Manager for Flammable Liquids, Patrick Knight, our Technical Advisor, Luli Philippe Ethier, our Manager of Process Services, Cheryl Delegar, our Manager of Finance, Linus Lau, and our Office Support, Shandy Hildebrandt, and of course, my lifeline and executive assistant, Carly Milhausen. At the end of this webinar, we'll have some time for some questions, and you'll be able to either raise your hand and put a note in to ask questions. So today I just want to give you a little bit of an update on what ERAC is up to, and we're really all about being involved in flammable gases and liquids and incidents that may occur at any time in any place. And when they do, we're here for you 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. We are your response organization. And we are a not-for-profit emergency preparedness and response organization that develops, implements, and responds to emergency response assistance plans all across Canada for both LPG and flammable liquids by rail. There are two words we use to describe Emergency Response Assistance Canada: quality and safety. Our members, you, count on us for our assessed and trained and approved responders to help you, our planned participants, with your emergency preparedness and response for ERAPs covering flammable liquids and LPGs. ERAC continues to recruit and retain the best response teams in the country and remedial measures advisors and technical advisors to work on behalf of you, our planned participants. These teams have been successfully trained, assessed, and approved by our ERAC technical advisors and managers. Our four home-based coordinators are also full-time ERAC employees on call 24/7. In addition, recently we've added to the response teams and the response network across Canada, which includes a new team in Calgary called Iron Horse, a new team in Vancouver called Nucor, a new team in Mississauga, Ontario called AccuWorks, and a fourth team that's in the process of being trained, assessed, and approved by ERAC is the Sutherland team in New Brunswick. We also have new technical advisors in St. John's, New Brunswick, and new RMA in Calgary, and potentially 2 more RMAs coming online in Saskatchewan. Part of the role of the ERAC board is to develop and support the development of strategic initiatives. It's my job, along with the management team, to implement those strategic initiatives. ERAC has responders located from coast to coast, including other assets to support incidents that may occur. And through that, we've developed our logistics call center through the use of STARS Air Ambulance, which covers, in addition to emergencies, medical emergencies all across from Manitoba west, but they also have a division that supports the industries like ERAC. And they use an integrated mapping technology using ArcGIS Esri to show the location of responders, to drop a pin to know exactly what support we can have on scene anywhere in Canada. We've developed this technology, we share it, and we look forward to building that logistics call center with the support of our plan participants and sharing information from everything from foaming phone caches to equipment caches to our own responder networks across Canada. We will continue to build these technologies over the coming months and years. As a training update and another strategic initiative to continue to improve our training, we have, through the Emergency Response Transport Canada Task Force, it's become evident the government wants to ensure industry is supporting first responders through advice by phone and or on scene. So with that said, we have also reached out. In addition to the training, we will begin training of first responders. This is in direct response to changes in Ontario's provincial funding for firefighting, where it left a number or an entire province with the risk of not having firefighters trained in LPG over and above their regular 1001 or 1002 training. So ERAC is supporting this first responder on behalf of our industry plan participant members by training them with an LPG awareness online and an LPG level 1 mobile operations training, which is partnered with Blythe, Ontario Emergency Services Training Centre. This training, which has been vetted by the Ontario Association of Fire Chiefs and the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs, they've supported this so that we can outreach at a very low cost and hit throughout the country volunteer firefighters with LPG level 1 operations training. In addition, to be able to successfully deliver that training, we've developed 2 TSSA approved ERAC prop trailers for that level 1 firefighting. This LPG firefighter training couldn't be possible without the support of you from industry. As plan participants, you will have the option to sponsor firefighters in the level 1 training, and you can also donate propane for the use during the training. And stay tuned for more information on this. We'll get it out as soon as possible. Training dates are now being scheduled for the fall. In addition to our first responder training, there is full-scale live transfer exercises occurring from coast to coast in Canada. On average, we hold 21 of these a year, far exceeding anything else any other industry has in Canada. In May of this year, for the first time ever in the history of the LPG ERC and now ERAC, we held our largest full-scale training event at the Edmonton CP Rail Yard, where 3 simultaneous live transfers occurred involving flammable liquids and LPG. On that site, we had over 40 observers, including the Director General of Transport Canada and the Director of Compliance from Transport Canada, and 40 of our own plan participants there, along with a minimum of 30 first responders from the Edmonton Fire Department and Strathcona Fire Departments. We're very proud of the response teams that participated in this exercise, and we're planning a similar event in the East this fall. For all of the other regional training events, the list of those regional training events are available on our website at erac.org. In addition, ERAC provides every 2 years a national training event for our first responders. So the next nationals will occur in May of 2017. Another strategic initiative that we've recognized we'd like to do a better job on behalf of our plan participant, and for a lack of better terminology, we've titled it the Plan Participant Readiness and Review Program. And this summer, we're launching a tool to determine your organization's level of readiness in response to an ERAP activation, and that being called the Plan Participant Readiness and Review Program. And this program will include a self-assessment tool, ERAP online awareness training and a hands-on training, and ERAC webinars to back that up, and finally training assistance including tabletop exercises. And finally, an annual follow-up for those organizations that choose to participate. This is strictly a voluntary participation in this program to ensure you as a plan participant understand your roles and responsibilities. Please stay tuned for more information coming out to you about this program, and if you have any questions, you can contact Ken McMillan, ERAC's Manager of Safety and Quality Improvement. His contact info again is available on our website at erac.org. Another strategic initiative taken by the board and our ERAC management team is the development of our capital plan, including 6 new fire suppression trailers strategically located in Prince George, BC, Parkland County, Alberta, Regina, Saskatchewan, and St. John, New Brunswick, Levi, Quebec, and Sudbury, Ontario. Those fire suppression trailers are capable of pumping over 500 gallons per minute and hold 2,000 liters of AR-FFF foam on board. In addition to these fire suppression trailers, we've also purchased 2 flammable liquid equipment caches to be located in Quebec and in Alberta. And I must mention for all of you that these fire suppression trailers have actually, we've been asked and requested to have them support in the events that occurred in Fort McMurray, as well as CN requested support to protect a bridge that was threatened by forest fires in northern British Columbia. So it is an asset for all of our plan participants to be potentially deployed in the event of something even outside of a flammable liquid or LPG event. In addition, we're very, very happy to report that although the Sarnia team made up of Imperial Oil, Nova, and Dow stepped down because they felt it was no longer their core business, and they've relied on ERAC for all of their flammable liquid and LPG ERAC response capabilities. They, in fact, donated all of their equipment to the ERAC, and I'd like to thank them publicly on behalf of ERAC for that generous contribution, which included pumps, hoses, fittings, etc. And I'd ask that if any of you have surplus equipment or are interested in developing our equipment caches further within the ERAC, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and we'd be happy to get involved. Thank you. So one of the reasons we've begun this biannual plan participant webinar is, in fact, we want to stay more connected with you, our plan participant. And by doing so, we'll continue with the quarterly newsletters and emails. And if any of you have any others within your organization that you think that this information would be valuable and want them to be better connected, maybe it's out in your satellite management areas throughout the country that you want them to know more about ERAPs and the response efforts and preparedness that ERAC does provide you, have them sign on to receive updates through the ERAC website at erac.org. At this time, I want to pause and give you an opportunity for any questions that you may have. And if you have questions, you can type your question into the question field on the GoTo control panel, or you can click Raise Hand button on the left sidebar of the GoTo control panel. We'll then unmute your line. So Craig Kazima has a question. Okay, go ahead. Craig, can you hear me? Maybe having some technical difficulties there. Craig Kazima, do you have a question? we'll just come back. If Craig is able to get back online or is able to type it, we'll be able to help him. I do have a couple of other questions that have come in. One of the questions is ERAC looking into covering other non-ERAPable products or other ERAPable products? I can tell you this, that yes, we've had a number of requests from our plan participants. And we have brought this forward to the ERAC Board of Directors for consideration. And in fact, we're developing the decision briefs as we speak, and we'll be doing further presentations in June. We hope to have decisions where we'll be able to respond to you, our plan participants, with the concept of one-stop shopping for your ERAPable requirements and potentially your non-ERAPable requirements. So there are some other questions that have come in. The one question here is, when do you anticipate the readiness and review program to be available? So Andy, thanks for the question. It's a great question. The Plan Participant Readiness and Review Program, we will be rolling that out between August and September of this year. Jamie at Husky, you're asking if we can email this PowerPoint out. We're happy to do that. We can do that to all of those that have attended this this recording. Plus, you'll also get a recording of this event, so you can hear my wonderful voice all over again. So we have another one. Denise has asked, has ERAC been involved in the latest Transport Canada reporting requirements? I'm not sure if this alludes to the Transport Canada or Emergency Response Task Force meetings or not, but we absolutely have been involved through the task force meetings from start to finish. And in fact, their final report is coming out and it is already released to the task force members. ERAC has been a part of this from the very beginning, including all of their working groups. And that final report will probably be public in the fall, available and released from Transport Canada. The next question from Kevin DeAngelis is, when do you expect the plan participant available? And will this include this is the Readiness Review Program again, and will this include our annual retainer? Or will this be an additional service? This is in fact will be included in your current fees that you pay. So we'll provide you with this Readiness Review Program at no additional cost to our plan members. Do you have the next question is from Stephen. Do you have a full list of response teams and their locations? Actually, Stephen, that's a great question. One thing that we had a meeting this morning with all of our responders from coast to coast. And we're going to put that on our website along with their logos that'll provide you with a list of who our teams are and who is assessed from coast to coast. And I got to tell you, we've signed on the majority of the response contractors in Canada, in addition to the 5 industry teams that we have on the LPG side. And we continue to train, assess, and approve those teams on your behalf through our regionals and our online training. So thanks for that one, Stephen. Don Boyce has asked, are you planning any training events for Northeast BC, and if so, where? Yeah, we do currently in the North BC training event is with our LPG team, and that occurs up in St. John, BC. And at this point, we have not planned any flammable liquid training in that area. Our 2 flammable liquid teams are located in central and southern British Columbia. We are planning and will be performing some with all those firefighting trailers from coast to coast. There's 6 of them. We'll also be doing LPG, the firefighter trailing. The fire suppressor trailer. Each and every fire department that that houses those trailers will be provided with training, and they're also maintaining those trailers. And then the LPG Level 1 training, we will have the schedule out shortly, but we've already tentatively scheduling a number of locations throughout Ontario, including up in northern BC and Prince George, British Columbia. We've got a date scheduled there as well, a number in Alberta, etc. So this is just rolling out, so it's a bit hot off the press. The dates have not been finalized, but we'll keep this on the website. You'll be able to see under our events calendars and training all of these dates on the web. So Dwayne Jones has a question, and it is, where is the trailer located? Northern Ontario, Sudbury, and will we have a directory of where all of the trailers are? So if we're talking about the fire suppression trailers, there's one that will be located in Sudbury. That's the fire suppression trailer. The remainder of those trailers, as I mentioned earlier in the slides, they go, just have a quick look on where I put those. There we go. So the other locations you'll see on your screen, they're located in Prince George, Parkland County, Regina, St. John, New Brunswick, Levi, Quebec, and of course Sudbury, Ontario. Those are for this fire suppression. In addition to those trailers, I must mention that both CP and CN also have combined another 10 trailers that are out there from coast to coast. So ours are strategically located where theirs aren't. So I think we're right back. There's a question here from Reg. Will we have any fire suppression trailers in the Grand Prairie area of Alberta?
The closest will be Prince George and Atchison, the brand new Parkland County Fire Department. Okay. If they need those trailers, they can call our 1-800 number.
Right.
Talk to the HBC.
Okay. So anytime that anyone needs these fire suppression trailers, we do have that 24/7 call center number available on the website, and throughout your plan, you can call that number and they will get an HBC on the line with you, and then we'll dispatch that, that trailer appropriately and move it. So one here from Brent Burrell. What response capability would you have for flammable liquids on the Debster Highway? Example, Innovate. So for flammable liquids, for those of you just to keep you up to date on what's happening, so currently for flammable liquids, under Protective Directive 33, which now became enacted in the regulations shortly, I guess a year ago, but in 2014 it began with the PD 33 directive from Transport Canada. Only flammable liquids by rail are regulated and require an ERAC. Flammable liquids by road are not considered ERAPable. That doesn't mean that you don't require an emergency response plan as a shipper or carrier, but it is not considered ERAPable. I can tell you again that under our plans for looking at, and is before the board as we speak, that we are looking at non-ERAPable, for lack of better term, that would cover these flammable liquids by road, but that is still before the board. Next question is Dale Miller. How many propane responses did ERAC have in the past fiscal year where a team was required? So in 2015, or I should say in this year to date, we've had 5 activations. And I can tell you our numbers from 2000 at a height of 20 activations, 21 activations in 2014. With the slowdown in shipments that we've seen, we have seen a slowdown in the number of activations. Last year was an exceptionally warm winter which you could definitely tell that we didn't have as many activations in January, February, December, November as we have normally seen in the past. So thanks for that question. So one of the questions from Louis Dame, are the fire suppression trailers stored indoor or outdoors? And are they GPS tracked? The fire suppression trailers are all stored indoors because of the ARFFF that's stored on board. At this point, they are not GPS tracked, but it's something that we're currently investigating as to the most economical process to do that. It may be simply we're going to purchase a mobile phone and have it charged on the trailer and set up to be tracked whenever it's in or out of the storage location that it's at. Ken Johnson asks, do you foresee ERAC assisting local first responders to a major incident involving LPG at a commercial site, a customer of a plant participant, for example, i.e. an agricultural propane crop dryer operation? Yeah, I think the answer to this is when it comes to first responders, they are considered the authority having jurisdiction and control of any incident. When they arrive on scene, they have to make an assessment of their firefighting tactics, whether they are defensive or offensive tactics. That is why we're going to roll out this LPG firefighter training, is so that the first responders from coast to coast really understand their roles and responsibilities and their own capabilities, and understand how to protect the public and themselves, of course, first priority. Another question here from Corrine Paul. Is recommended to put all possibly ERAC products on your plan, or only those that you are currently shipping? So for your ERAC that ERAC responds to, there should only be the products that we are actually responding to in the plan. So until we add to those, then it's not considered part of the ERAC plan that's approved by Transport Canada. I'm hoping that I've answered that correctly. And I will say, if you have any questions about your plan, or what's in it, or where to find it, please don't hesitate to contact Cheryl Delegar. And again, her contact information is on the website at erac.org. So at this time, I appreciate all those questions that we've had. And I want to close with some final thoughts. ERAC is really here to help you, our plan participants, as part of your own social responsibility, and that includes the responsibility for supporting first responders and other stakeholders who respond to your products. We're also here to engage and act on your behalf at TransCare events across Canada. We're there at training our responders all across Canada to ensure that they are trained, assessed, and approved before they go out. And we're very proud to provide you as plan participants those trained, assessed, and approved responders. So again, thank you this afternoon for taking out the time of your day. I know you're all busy. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, and be safe.